Hi, everybody. Good evening. It is Saturday, November 11th, 2023, and it's 7 p.m. in Colombia. Son las 7 de la noche en Colombia. And welcome. This is Mike. I bid you welcome to another live class. Tonight, we are going to learn how to ask and tell the time in Spanish with ease. So hopefully with the tools that you're going to get tonight, you're going to be able to practice, learn, and know how to ask and tell the time in Spanish. This is pretty much easy. Um, you need some stuff, some basic stuff like numbers. At least you have to know your numbers up to 59. Let's say to 59, but pretty much numbers. This is pretty much basic. I want to thank each and every one of you who are right now. Hey, Flo, good evening. Yeah, it's 6 hours. We're 6 hours apart, so 7 plus 6. It is 1 p.m. Right? Well, I mean 1 a.m. 1 in the morning. So hi. I want to thank you, each and every one of you, the ones who are right now here with us during this live class, and also all of those who are watching this later, because remember, this is part of a playlist, and you're gonna be able to watch anytime. Hey, AJDYB, hi, hola, ¿cómo estás? Bienvenidos, bienvenida Ariane. Ariane from Australia is in the house too. So in Australia is like what, 10 a.m. right now? Am I right? So good morning. It's Sunday, 10 a.m. right now in Australia. So greetings from Colombia. And also, I want to thank all of the people who is participating in the membership program. Thanks for, yeah, Rian, thanks for supporting our channel. I really appreciate that. And remember, if you want to also support the channel, you can do that in different ways. You can, first of all, you can like this video, share with your friends, group, social media, and if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, it's for free. Click the bell button in order to get notifications, because we're posting videos on a weekly basis. And you're going to be able to participate in the chat during these live classes. So if you want to participate, to interact with us, or to ask questions during the class, you will be able to do that, because the chat is just only available for subscribers. And if you want to go further, yeah, domingo. Yep, domingo, 10 de la mañana en Australia. Muy bien. So let's start by saying that tonight we are going to learn, remember, how to ask and tell the time in Spanish. This is not difficult, and we're going to start with some easy stuff. So we're going to start first by learning how to ask for the time in Spanish. So in English, when we want to know and we want to ask for the time, we would ask, what time is it? What time is it? If we want to know the time, let's say, I don't know what time is it, and I want to know what time is it, so I ask, what time is it, right? In English, that's it. In Spanish, we have 3 different ways for asking for the time. The first one is, ¿qué hora es? The second one is, ¿qué horas son? And the third one is, ¿qué horas or qué hora tiene? It can be, actually, this one can be both singular and plural. Just forgot to, whoops, sorry. Let me do this real quick here. Whoops. ¿Qué hora tiene? ¿Qué hora tiene? ¿Qué hora tiene? ¿Qué horas tiene? We can ask that. ¿Qué hora tiene? ¿Qué horas tiene? ¿Ve? ¿Qué hora tiene? In general, it's way more natural if we ask, ¿qué horas tiene? ¿Qué horas tiene would be something like, what time do you have? That would be like a regular little translation. Meaning that if you have the time, can you tell me the time? Can you tell me what time is it? The time that you have right now on your watch or in your watch? That would be like the literal translation, but these are the three ways in which we can ask for the time in Spanish. So let's review this. ¿Qué hora es? Singular. ¿Qué horas son? Plural. ¿Qué horas tiene? Plural. It doesn't matter the answer. It doesn't matter if the answer is singular, plural, whatever. We can use any of those three. We're going to sound natural, we're going to sound clear, and people is going to understand. We're not going to sound weird if we ask any of those. ¿Qué hora es? ¿Qué hora es? ¿Qué hora es? ¿Qué horas son? ¿Qué horas son? ¿Qué horas son? Check it out. I'm doing connected speech here. ¿Qué horas son? ¿Qué horas son? ¿Qué horas son? ¿Qué horas tiene? ¿Qué horas tiene? ¿Qué horas tiene? ¿Qué horas tiene? So please practice as much as you can, mirror the sounds, and learn this by practicing and exposing yourself. So from now on, every time you have the opportunity, you're going to ask for the time in Spanish. And if you don't have anyone who practice with, any Spanish speaker or any student of Spanish to practice with, if you don't have people to practice with, then you can just ask your friends and they're gonna say, why? What's that? Are you speaking Spanish or whatever? And you say, yeah, I'm practicing my Spanish. ¿Qué horas tiene? ¿Qué hora es? ¿Qué horas son? Any of the three, and remember the pronunciation and practice. Remember that this video, although it's a live video, then you can later, once we finish this class, you can just repeat and repeat as many times as you need in order to get comfortable and used to the sounds, right? Now, sometimes we can ask what time is something going to happen, or is something happening. Let's say, what time do you leave? Check it out. We use, in English, we use what time is it and what time blah, blah, blah to ask at what time something is going to happen, or something happened, or something will happen, or something happens, right? In English, we use the same two words, what time. In Spanish, if we ask for the time, we use the three on the top. ¿Qué hora es? ¿Qué horas son? ¿Qué horas tienen? That's it. But if we are asking for the time for something, we ask a qué hora. That's it. A qué hora. That's it. So, what time do you leave? A qué hora do you leave? Te vas. You see? Check it out. Check this. Pay attention to this, because what time would be a qué hora? What time? So in this case, what time? A qué hora? 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 You can also ask a qué horas. It's the same. It doesn't matter. Singular or plural. We usually ask singular. A qué hora? A qué hora? So, what time, a qué hora do you leave? Te vas. Simple present, right? What time, a qué hora is the game? Es el juego. ¿A qué hora es el juego? What time, a qué hora did she start? Comenzó. ¿Quién? Ella. Remember, usually we usually skip and omit the subjects, right? What time? ¿A qué hora will it arrive? Llegará. Can be the train, the bus, the plane, whatever, or somebody. I mean, no, not somebody, because this is it. So that would be for the train, the car, the bus, whatever, the plane, the flight. So if we ask just for the time, we say ¿qué hora es? ¿Qué horas son? ¿Qué horas tiene? If we ask for the time of something, we use a qué hora, and of course that's something. And this, my friends, this is the way we ask for the time in Spanish. That's it. That's pretty much it. So you need to practice. You need to practice and learn the sounds. It's basically easy, fairly easy. Just make sure that you're going to make the difference, whether it's just asking for the time or asking for the time when something is happening when something happens, when something happened, or when something is going to happen. Okay? Now, when we are going to tell the time, in Spanish we say dar la hora, decir la hora, but most likely dar la hora. Te voy a dar la hora. I'm going to tell you the time. The literal translation would be I'm going to give you the time. I'm going to tell you the time. Te voy a dar la hora. So, it's in English. If somebody asks what time is it? It's 7 o'clock. It's 3 o'clock. In Spanish, we use two forms. Es la, if it's one. Es la. So if it's one, I say es la una. And for all of the other hours, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, we say son las because it's plural. So if it's one, es la. If it's any other hour, son las. Right? Now, check this out. In regular Spanish, with native speakers, you might hear son la una or son las una. That can happen. That's not, we would say that's not pretty much the correct Spanish, right? But you can find it. You can hear that in a regular conversation. But if you want to learn the right way, just learn that for one is es la, and for when you're giving the time, right? When you're telling the time, I'm sorry, I was thinking in Spanish. And for the other hours, you say son las. So let's remember the numbers. One would be uno, right? One would be uno. But for the time, for the hour, hey, Serena is in the house. Hi, Serena. Thank you for being here. Serena is a friend of mine. She's a gamer. She's got a channel on YouTube. If you want to check it out, if you're a gamer, if you are interested in gaming and stuff like that, if you are into gaming, you can find her on YouTube. You just type youtube.com/@adventures with Dread. DREAD, Dread. Adventures with Dread. And that's an awesome channel. She's playing the Talos Principle, No Man's Sky, Ark, and I can't remember the other name. Can't remember the other game. But anyhow, she's so good at it. She's got great videos. So make sure you're going to visit her channel. So coming back to the time in Spanish. Remember, for the hour, the number one, it's female. It's feminine. Una. The rest of the numbers, just like they are, the cardinal numbers. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, y 12. So, if I say it's one, I say es la una. Remember, as I told you before, you might find people who, native speakers who say son la una or son las una. Even worse, son las una. People say that, son las una. It's not correct, but it's understandable, and most of the native speakers are going to say like, okay, he said the right time. Doesn't matter. So make sure Starfield. Oh, yeah, Starfield. I always forget about that name. Anyhow, so it's one, es la una. It's two, son las dos. It's 3, son las 3. It's 4, son las 4. It's 5, son las 5. It's 6, son las 6. It's 7, son las 7. It's 8, son las 8. It's 9, son las 9. It's 10, son las 10. It's 11, son las 11, and it's 12, son las 12. So as you can see, we use es la for one. That's the right way in Spanish. And we use son las for all of the other hours. Now, in the morning we say a.m. So it's 1 a.m. right? It's 1 a.m. So we say, es la una de la mañana, right? It's 1 a.m. It's 2 a.m. Son las 2 de la mañana. It's 10 a.m. Son las 10 de la mañana. In Spanish, sometimes when we say the time in the morning, usually before 6, some people may say de la madrugada instead of de la mañana. That's in order to make to be emphatic on the fact that it's early in the morning. De la madrugada. Madrugar in Spanish is a verb that means to wake up early. Madrugar, to wake up early. So we can say it's 1 a.m. Es la una de la mañana. That's okay. Or I can say es la una de la madrugada. It's the same. Just to be emphatic on the fact that it's way too early in the morning. It's 2 a.m. Son las 2 de la mañana. Son las 2 de la madrugada. It's 3 a.m. Son las 3 de la mañana. Son las 3 de la madrugada. It's 4 a.m. Son las 4 de la mañana. Son las 4 de la madrugada. It's 5 a.m. Son las 5 de la mañana. Son las 5 de la madrugada. It's 6 a.m. It's 6 a.m. Son las 6 de la mañana. 6 de la madrugada, 6 is not, 6 is not that early, but let's say yes. But now from 7 on, just a.m. de la mañana. It's 7 a.m., son las 7 de la mañana. It's 8 a.m., son las 8 de la mañana. It's 9 a.m., son las 9 de la mañana. It's 10 a.m., son las 10 de la mañana. It's 11 a.m., son las 11 de la mañana. Of course, if we get to 12, which is noon, that would be 12 p.m. So that's it. We don't say 12 de la mañana. Although we have 12 a.m., which would be midnight, we don't say 12 de la mañana. We never say that. We're going to get there. So for p.m., we just say de la tarde as long as it's before 7 p.m. Or if we live in a country in which we have seasons and sometimes we have daylight only until 3 or 4 p.m., we can say 4 de la noche, 5 de la noche if it's dark. But that's just to mention that. But here in Latin America, we pretty much don't have seasons. We have just summer and winter. That's it. And right now, even not even that because of the weather changes and stuff. But pretty much we have daylight up to 6:30, pretty much. So before 7 p.m., from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m., we say son la una de la tarde. It's 1 p.m. or es la una de la tarde. Remember, you see how we can say that in Spanish and it doesn't matter. Es la una de la tarde. It's 1 p.m. It's 2 p.m. Son las 2 de la tarde. It's 3 p.m. Son las 3 de la tarde. It's 4 p.m. Son las 4 de la tarde. It's 5 p.m. Son las 5 de la tarde. It's 6 p.m. Son las 6 de la tarde. And from that point on, we go de la noche. It's 7 p.m. Son las 7 de la noche. It's 8 p.m. Son las 8 de la noche. It's 9 p.m. Son las 9 de la noche. It's 10 p.m. Son las 10 de la noche. It's 11 p.m. Son las 11 de la noche. And we get to 12, which would be 12 a.m., right? So, now the noon. Noon is mediodía. It's noon. Es mediodía. That's it. We don't say anything else. It's 12 p.m. We can say son las 12 del mediodía. We just can say son las 12. Or es mediodía. It's noon. That's it. And if it's 12 a.m., we say son las 12 de la noche. Or we just say es medianoche. And that's it. So these are the basic hours, right? And the way we ask and tell the time in Spanish. Now, let's get this is where the plot thickens, right? Now let's get to different sets of time in Spanish. And remember, I'm from Colombia. I live in Colombia. So my Spanish is Latin American Spanish. Nonetheless, I'm going to let you know some details about how they say the time in Spain, just to keep that in mind. But Remember, this is Spanish with Mike, Spanish from Colombia, and Latin American Spanish. So let's go with that. Let's learn the time clock. So in English, we say it's 1, it's 2, it's 3, and we already mean that, by that, we mean that it's time clock, right? So in Spanish, if in English we don't mean to say o'clock, we just say the time without anything else. So let's say in the first example, we just say es la una. That's it, es la una, right? The second one, son las cuatro. Son las cuatro. This one, how would be this one? You try there at home. What do you think? Son las siete. How about this if this is noon? Son las 12. Or if it's midnight, son las 12. That's it. That's it. Son las 12. We don't say anything else. In this one, how would you say? Take a guess. Sure. It's son las 3. Son las 3. Now, if we want to add the o'clock, if we want to be emphatic on the fact that it is o'clock, we would say es la una en punto. La una, remember, for 1, the hour in Spanish, we say una, not uno, una. This one, how would it be? Son las 4 en punto. Son las 4 en punto. How about this one? Son las 7 en punto. How about this one? Son las 12 en punto. And yeah. And how about this one? Son las 3 en punto. And that's the way we tell the time clock. Now, let's go with the time and a half, or time 30 in English. In English, we say it's 2:30, it's 4:30, it's 9:30, it's 1:30, it's 5:30. In English, we can also say it's 2:30 or 2:30, right? So, in Spanish from Latin America, we say either es or son, la or las, hora, and we say y media, or we say y 30. That's it. We don't say anything else in Spanish from Latin America. So this one would be son las 2:30, or we can say son las 2:30. You see? Time 2:30. Or time 2:30. And that's it. Same thing here. Son las 4:30. Son las 4:30. Both are natural. Both are right and acceptable in Latin American Spanish. Son, how about this one? Son las 9:30. Son las 9:30. How about this one? Es la 1:30. Es la 1:30. How about this one? Son las 5:30. Son las 5:30. And in Spain, sometimes we say son las, and the next time, in this case, would be son las 3 menos 30. Son las 3 menos 30. It would be 30 to 3, 30 to 4, 30 to 3, 30 to 5, 30 to 10, 30 to 2, and 30 to 6. In Spain, we would say son las 3 menos 30, son las 5 menos 30, son las 10 menos 30, son las 2 menos 30, and son las 6 menos 30. So, this one, just for you to know. But remember, Latin American Spanish would be this. Now, let's move to the 5 past the time. 5 past the time. Let me just check, double check if we have questions. Okay. If you have questions, remember, just let me know if I'm going too fast. I don't think I'm going too fast, but if you think I'm going too fast, please let me know. So let's go with 5 past the time. We say in English, it's 5 past 4, right? We say in English, it's 5 past 7. It's 5 past 9. It's 5 past 1. It's 5 past 12. In Spanish from Latin America, we just say es or son, la or las, time y 5. That's it. So we would say, the first one, son las 4 y 5. The second one, son las 7 y 5. The third one, son las 9 y 5. The fourth one, es la 1 y 5. And the last one, son las 12 y 5. That's it. Easy, right? Now let's move to the 10 past the time. It's 10 past 3, the first example. It's 10 past 12, the second. It's 10 past 8, the third one. It's 10 past 4, the fourth one. And it's 10 past 1, the fifth one. And in Spanish, we just add y 10. That's it. The number 10, the number 10 in Spanish. Easy, right? So the first one would go how? Son las 3 y 10. The second one. Son las 12 y 10. How about the third one? Son las 8 y 10. The fourth one. Son las 4 y 10. And the fifth one, es la 1 y 10. We can say son la 1 y 10, remember. And I have that one. I'm a native speaker, so sometimes I make that mistake because we are so used to that. But nonetheless, the right way is es la 1 y 10. Okay? Cool. So let's move to the 15 past the time. When it comes to 15, we use the word cuarto, which would be the equivalent to quarter. But also we use 15, 15. Both of them. And for 15 past 12, for 15 past 2, which is the first example, we would say son las 2 y 15. But we can also say son las 2 y cuarto. Both ways. The second one, 15 past 9. Son las 9 y 15. And we can also say son las 9 y cuarto. The third one, 15 past 4. Son las 4 y 15. Or son las 4 y cuarto. The fourth one, it's 15 past 11. Son las 11 y 15. Son las 11 y cuarto. Remember, in English, we can also say it's 2:15. That's it. In Spanish, we just say son las 2 y 15 or son las 2 y cuarto. That's it. We don't say anything else. Let's move to the 20 past the time. Easy one. Same thing, but with 20. So, for 20 past 3, we say son las 3 y 20. For 20 past 9, we would say son las 9 y 20. For 20 past 4, we would say son las 4 y 20. For 20 past 10, son las 10 y 20. And the last one, for 20 past 1, would be es la 1 y 20. And that's it. We can say de la mañana or de la tarde or de la noche or de la madrugada. The first thing that we saw, right? We are going baby steps with this. Now, the 25 past the time. This is not an hour that we usually say like, hey, yeah, it's 25 past 1. But anyhow, 25 past 1 and we use 25. Same thing. Es la 1 y 25. It's 25 past 6. Son las 6 y 25. It's 25 past 11. Son las 11 y 25. It's 25 past 4. Son las 4 y 25. And it's 25 past 9. Son las 9 y 25. Easy, right? And let's go to 5 to the time, because we already have the time and a half, right? So we covered the first half Now we're going to the second half of the time. 5 to the time. In English, we say it's 5 to, right? Or we could say it's time 55, right? Same thing in Spanish. Well, I made here a mistake. This is 55, sorry. This is 55, 55, 55, 55. Okay, so now we're good. So we say three different ways in Spanish. We can say cinco para las, just like that. Cinco para las das, para las. We after in the second half, we never say son las cinco para las. That sounds weird. You can say that. It's gonna sound weird, and we are going to understand. But that's not something that we say regularly. We just say cinco para las. We can also say faltan cinco para las o para la. Or we just say son las time y 55. So we have three different ways to say, to tell that time, right? So check it out. 1:55 or 5 to 2, right? So we say cinco para las dos. 1:55, meaning 5 minutes to 2 p.m. 5 to 2. Cinco para las dos. Faltan cinco para las dos. Same thing. Or es la 1:55. This is a little bit more tricky, but nonetheless, it's pretty much understandable, right? 9:55, we can say it's 5 to 10, would be cinco para las 10. ¿Qué hora es? 5 para las 10. We don't say son las 5 para las 10. Remember, after the second half, we barely say that. ¿Qué hora es? Faltan 5 para las 10. 9:55. ¿Qué hora es? It's 9:55. Son las 9:55. And that's it. 11:55 or 5 to 12. 5 para las 12. Faltan 5 para las 12. Or son las 11:55. 12:55. 5 to 1. 5 para la 1. Faltan 5 para la 1. Son las 12:55. And 6:55 or 5 to 7. 5 para las 7. Faltan 5 para las 7. Son las 6:55. Now, if we were in Spain, it's 5 to 2, let's say, sería, son las 2 menos 5. If you say that in Latin America, somebody is going to understand, but it's like, this is not the way we say that on a regular basis. So, nonetheless, that's the way they say in Spain. So, let's go to 10 to the time. Same thing. We have three different ways. 10 para las, next time, time plus 1. Faltan 10 para las, time plus 1. Or, son las, time y 50. 50. 12:50 or 10 to 1. 10 para la 1. Faltan 10 para la 1. Son las 12:50. How about 8:50? Let's try that one. 8:50, which would be 10 to 9. 10 para las 9. 10 to 9. Faltan 10 para las 9. 10 to 9. Son las 8:50. It's 8:50. 9:50 or 10 to 10. 10 para las 10. Faltan 10 para las 10. Son las 9:50. 11:50, which would be 10 to 12. 10 para las 12. Faltan 10 para las 12. Son las 11:50. And 1:50 or 10 to 2. 10 para las 2. Faltan 10 para las 2. Es la 1:50. And yes, in Spain, 10 to 1 would be, es la 1 menos 10. 10 to 5 would be, son las 5 menos 10. 10 to 6 would be, son las 6 menos 10, and so on. But remember, my Spanish is Spanish from Latin America. Now, 15 to the time, 15 to the time. When we have 15 to the time, in Spanish, we can say 15 or un cuarto, because 15 is the same as un cuarto. Para la or para las. That would be it's a quarter or 15 to. We can also say faltan 15 or falta un cuarto para la or para las. Or we just say es, son, la, las, time, and y 45. Complicated, but let's go with these examples. 1:45. 1:45 would be 15 to 2, right? We say 15 para las 2. Or we just say un cuarto para las 2. We can also say faltan 15 para las 2. Or falta un cuarto para las 2. And we can also say es la 1:45, and we're done. 3:45, we should be 15 or a quarter to 4. 15 para las 4, un cuarto para las 4. Faltan 15 para las 4, falta un cuarto para las 4. Son las 3:45, and we're done. 11:45, we should be 15 to 12. 15 para las 12, un cuarto para las 12. Faltan 15 para las 12, falta un cuarto para las 12. Son las 11:45. 8:45, which is 15 to 9. 15 para las 9, un cuarto para las 9. Faltan 15 para las 9, falta un cuarto para las 9. Son las 8:45. Now with 2:45, which is 15 to 3, 15 para las 3, un cuarto para las 3. Faltan 15 para las 3, falta un cuarto para las 3. Or son las 2:45, and we're done. In Spain, we would say if it's 15 to 3, we would say son las 3 menos 15, or son las 3 menos cuarto. We can say that in Spain, but remember, we're learning Spanish from Latin America, just to make sure we cover everything. We're getting to the end with 20 to the time. So we have 20 para la or para las, faltan 20 para la o para las, or es, son, la, las, time, y 40. So in the case of 6:40, 6:40 is the same of 22:07. We could say 20 para las 7, faltan 20 para las 7, or son las 6:40. Now, 3:40, which is 20 to 4. 20 para las 4, 20 to 4. Faltan 20 para las 4, 20 to 4. Son las 3:40, 3:40. 1:40, 20 to 2. 20 para las 2. Faltan 20 para las 2. Es la 1:40. 5:40, 20 to 6. 20 para las 6. Faltan 20 para las 6. Son las 5:40. And 7:40 or 20 to 8. 20 para las 8. Faltan 20 para las 8. Son las 7:40. And in Spain, if it's 20 to 4, we will say son las 4 menos 20. But remember, this is just for Spain, just for you to know, right? I would focus just on Latin American because it's my Spanish. Yeah, Colombian Spanish. Español de Colombia. And 25 to the time. This is not something that we usually say. It's kind of weird, but we can say that, right? It's 25 to 4. 25 para la or para las. Faltan 25 para la o para las. Es la, son la, time, y 35. Check the examples. 3:35 would be 25 to 4. 25 para las 4. Faltan 25 para las 4. Son las 3:35. Now let's go to 1:35, which would be 25 to 2. 25 para las 2. Faltan 25 para las 2. Es la 1:35. 12:35. 12:35. Which is 25 to 1. 25 para la 1. Faltan 25 para la 1. Son las 12:35. 9:35, which should be 25 to 10. 25 para las 10. Faltan 25 para las 10. Son las 9:35. And last but not least, 11:35, which is 25 to 12. 25 para las 12. 25 to 12. Faltan 25 para las 12. 25 to 12. Son las 11:35. It's 11:35. And if we were in Spain, same thing. It's 25 to time. We would be, let's say, 25 to 3. We would say, son las 3 menos 25. I mean, 25, yeah, 3 menos 25. 25 to 3. So, that's pretty much all of the times that we can tell. And if we were going to say, to tell the time plus any other number, like just different numbers, we just say it's time number. That's it. Es, son, las, time y número. So, 7:36. Son las 7:36. That's it. 1:23. Es la 1:23. 12:07. Son las 12:07. It's 8:43. Son las 8:43. It's 6:18. Son las 6:18. And just to finish here, as a part of vocabulary, let me write that with this one. Give me a second. I'd rather use this keyboard. Hora in Spanish is sorry. Hour in Spanish is hora. Hora. Minute in Spanish is minuto. Second in Spanish is segundo. Shoot. Segundo. And we have hora singular, horas plural, minuto singular, minutos plural, segundo singular, segundo, segundos plural. So this is all what you need. The ultimate guide in order to tell the time in Spanish, to ask and tell the time in Spanish. So if I say, what time is it? ¿Qué hora es? Right now, it's 7:42. Son las 7:42 de la noche, because it's PM. If it were 7:45, I could say, faltan 15 para las 8. Falta un cuarto para las 8, or son las 7:45. Any of those. I can say, what time do you leave? ¿A qué horas te vas? I leave at, yo me voy a las 4:55. 4:55. 4:55. 4:55. And so on, and so on, and so on. So, this has been pretty much tonight's class. I hope this has been useful for all of you. Useful in order to learn, understand, and get a grasp on how to ask and tell for the time in Spanish. There are some complex things, but pretty much easy. So now, what's the homework, your assignment, your mission, should you choose to accept it? Your mission, should you choose to accept it? Start practicing. You need to start practicing. Expose yourself to this. This is the way you're going to learn. So from now on, from right now on, start asking and telling the time. You can ask yourself for the time. You can say, oh, ¿qué hora es? Son las 7:44. Do that from time to time during the day. ¿Qué hora es? ¿Qué horas son? Oh, son las 5:40. Try and remember the different ways. What you can see is just go and practice. Let's say you can check this video as many times as you want, as you need, and you can, let's say you can go over to this part. Let me check again. Oops. We can go over to this time, and okay, I'm going to start practicing time o'clock. Ok, son las 12 en punto. Son la 1 en punto. Es la 1 en punto. Son las 2 en punto. Son las 3 en punto. Son las 4 en punto. And so on and practicing. If you have questions, you can go back to the part in which I explain each one of the times. And you need to practice. You need to practice a lot. Mirror the sounds. Try to do that. Try to mirror the sounds in order to get a grasp on the sounds. And do that as many times as you need. I don't know if you have questions. I'm going to keep on talking about some stuff. If you have questions, think about the questions because we're pretty much done for tonight. So this is about our practice. You need to practice. You need to expose yourself to the language, and you can find different ways in which you can do that. You can manage to expose yourself to the language either by finding language exchange partners. You can do that. You can also try and talk to your friends, although you're not speaking maybe they're not students of Spanish students, and they speak English. You can you can tell them things in Spanish, and they're gonna say, hey, you're crazy, what are you doing, I don't understand. You say, okay, but I'm practicing my Spanish, so don't worry, what I'm saying is this in Spanish. Wow, that's interesting. So you can do that too. You can practice your listening. Now try to identify whenever you're watching movies in Spanish or series in Spanish. Try to identify whenever they ask and tell the time, or say or whenever they tell the time for anything. Now you have the foundations, so you need to practice. And this is you need to try and find ways to expose yourself to the language. So this is the best way. Practice repeating, exposing yourself. This is easy. And you can use this video as a guide for the pronunciation. Try to mirror the sounds. I have also the video in which I teach the numbers, so you can practice that too. And that way you're going to achieve that. Remember, if you like this video, you know what to do. Please share with your friends, groups, social media. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. Click the bell button in order to get notifications, because we're posting videos on a weekly basis, and I'm also going live 1 or 2 during the week. This is the second time I'm going to, live this week. So I hope this has been helpful. By subscribing to the channel, you can participate also in the chat during these live classes. This is important because if you have questions, this is the place and time to ask those questions, because this is pretty much like if you are on a regular class, in a class. Okay, sorry. And also you can, if you want to go further, you can choose to participate in the membership program. Thank you very much to all of you who are already members. I really appreciate your support. And this is pretty much it. So I see nobody's asking questions. That's pretty cool. That means everything has been understood. So remember, like the video. With that, you help a lot. Watch this video as many times as you need in order to practice. And that's it. Looking forward to seeing you in future classes. I don't see anybody asking questions, so I think we are pretty much done for tonight. So have a great night. Que pasen una feliz noche. Thank you for being here with us tonight, and thank you for watching the video. See you later. Bye bye. Oh, Faith Connell, buenas noches y muchas gracias a ti también por estar aquí. De verdad, muchas gracias. Y gracias a todos quienes están allá. A Flo, a Rian, a Serene y a Faith, que fueron quienes participaron en el chat. De verdad, muchas gracias. Y nada, see you. Bye bye.